and it says, all that would live, Timothy, I think it's in Paul's letter to Timothy, all that would live godly in Christ Jesus shall suffer persecution. It's just a question as to which degree, and we've had less persecution in this generation than most have, at least the Western Christians have. I knew a little bit and was involved a little bit with Soviet Christians who are under persecution. If you want to know more about that, then you have to look in my contribution to the Polyglot project, which Uncle Claude made. His channel is Syzygits on YouTube, SYZYGYCC, and if you go there you'll see links to the Polyglot Project book, which is a book which a number of YouTubers put together, and it's National Knife Shop, Narodny Nożirství. Again, the there, Nożirství. It's hardest of all when you have to come out of a and go into a s. So if you go on there, you'll see a little bit, if you haven't seen it already, about my background and pedigree, and I don't claim to be anyone who makes prophecies. Once I had a charismatic friend who was saying, "Oh, you've probably got a gift of prophecy. I discern that you have it. You must prophesy and make a prophecy something for me." And he pestered me about it until finally I did one, and I prophesied that he would marry one of the girls in the church where we were spending the summer, and he only went and did it, which, whether he was happy with me afterwards, I don't know, but he wasn't in any hurry to rekindle our friendship some years later after we'd lost contact. I lost contact with most people that I was friends with during my first marriage, owing to the fact that my wife and her parents made such an issue out of me keeping up with old friends that, and I had really such a, I'd gone so down in my self-image after having, married her and everything, that when she wasn't really the right person for me, that I just didn't feel like making an issue of it and keeping up with anybody. So I just came across to Poland and got stuck in to work. But that's when I lost contact with a lot of people in the UK, some of whom I've been able to find again through YouTube or LinkedIn or other things like that, which is extremely valuable. There's a Lego chap with posing for photos with people on the bench, which is very nice. That's the Museum of Lego. It's Soukromé Muzeum Lego, so it's not a public museum, it's a private museum. You can only go into that if you're invited. Interesting. How am I doing for time? 1:15. I think I've kept this on for 14 minutes, which means effectively when it's on HD, that's already a pretty long film. So what I'm going to do is, here's the Segway mob. What I shall do is, I would just love to have one of these faceplant on film. That would be so good. But I don't want to keep it going for too long. You've seen this before anyway. You've seen me come here for breakfast time on to Café Louvre, which is just over the way. You've seen me film all of these things many times before, so I don't need to keep up a complete unbroken film of it. I'll film again when I've got something to say that I want to share with you, and I shall probably film again when I'm coming back after the after the evening's jollity at the Chamber of Commerce. Oh, here's the jolly old golem. Right, so see you later. Okay, so the evening is done and dusted, as it were. There in the Chamber of Commerce AGM. I'm coming back from Slovansky Ostrov, which is Slovenian, would you say, or Slovansky? Maybe that's Slavonic Island, if you like, in the middle of the Voltavar, where the lovely Zhofin restaurant is. I won't say they pulled out all the stops for us. I'm sure they can do better. Back in the same place again. Here you see the Nozirstvi that I spoke about on the way down there. Now it's going in the other direction. And just enjoying the nice Prague evening as it is. Walking back a bit slower, can just enjoy the environment. Up there we've got this clock that I haven't really noticed before, on top of Deutsche Bank's thing, and there's young man that I've commented on before, and that's why I call this the YMCA Square. I won't do that joke again because I did it already before. See if you can work it out, if you didn't hear it, what exactly that joke would have been about. And again, walking down. This is Perlova, Pearly Street. There's some people on an elephant. That's a nice thing. Cheosobi is one of the banks of the Czech Republic. And next to it, Jazz Republic, a live music club here. Jazz Republic, cafe, dance floor and bar. Right. This is live, is it? Yeah, it is. Live. Okay, nice. Thank you very much. Sorts of things they have in these shops here oughtn't to be allowed, really. I mean, look at that. And look at that. I don't know. Strange things. Pizza factory. Shoes. I don't know if those are Czech shoes or not. The Czech Republic is famous for shoes because of the Batya brand, known in the UK as Bata, but it's Batya, for those of you who know Czech. And there's a bear above that, Zlatnictví, which is a gold or jeweller, you would probably call it. You wouldn't call it a goldsmith necessarily in this day and age, although in the past goldsmith was what you might call it. Now you just call it a jeweller's shop. We're passing by Mostek tube station. As you may well know, this is the beginning of Václavský náměstí, or Wenceslas Square, which may surprise people who think that a square should be a square. In the Czech Republic, squares aren't necessarily anything like square, because this goes up, well, it's enough to be a broad street that you can walk about in the middle of, and it's a square. This goes right up there, so it's a long, thin rectangle really, just a broad street, that they call it a square. They call it Wenceslas Square. I have difficulty thinking of it as a square because it's so much longer than it is broad, but nevertheless, square is what it's called. You might as well call this a square. This na przykopie. I won't get into that again. You may as well call this a square, really. Let's call that a square. Whereas this is a street and that's a square. Go figure, as the Americans say. I hope that was a proper use of go figure. I'm never sure when I'm using American idioms, I'm not sure that whether I'm using them in a natural way or not. It's always funny listening to Americans trying to say bloke. Go away, you bloke. You're so bloody, you are. You're so bloody, you're like a bloody bloke. This is one of the things I want, actually. The twisty bamboo plant. The problem is, I don't know whether it will take roots. Because there it is in water. Whether it will actually take root in the pot or not, I know not. But what I want to have is a take, which is Japanese for bamboo, bayashi. Hayashi means forest, but if you put the first part with the ending in a vowel, you get takebayashi, bamboo forest. I want to have a takebayashi in my new office. In fact, there's so many. Oh my word, she looks like she's off an oil painting. Very pretty girl. There's all sorts of pictures that I want on my office. All sorts of plants I want in my office because of all the light there is. This good old thing, the chikla thing. Now 2011, and this upside down rabbit. Marvellous. More and more bricks have been added. Now people don't bother painting them on the outside anymore, which seems to me to defeat the object a bit. In fact, they don't even have painting. They do have a few over there, but never mind. They seem to do good things, those people, because they're making homes for children who are got some kind of handicap, or other young people that got bad handicap, mental handicap, and that's what has to happen. And governments don't always want to stump up. They should, of course, but there can never really be enough. So that's a bit more for them than they might otherwise have. Right. So she was kicking that wall with her stiletto heels. I hope she knew what she was doing. She could have caused some real damage there. Yeah, going back to the old takebayashi. I need to get some bamboo, but I'm not sure whether it's going to take root if I don't actually have it already done in a pot. Of course, I've got no guarantee that even if I got it in a pot that the roots would be any better than they were in those ones that are in water. At least in water, I suppose I can see if it's got a root or not, and then put it into a substrate of my own liking and composition, from this much sand, this much humus, this much this, that and the other. But the downside is, if I buy in this country, how am I going to get it back to Poland anyway? Well, right now we've got the jolly ash clouds, so I might end up going back in the train anyway, but still, going with bamboo that I have to keep wet the whole time, I just don't know how I'd go about that. So I'm going to save it until I see some similar bamboo in the Czech Republic. Right. So it was a nice evening.